I don't know about you, but I do. I do. It's something. All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your good old boy coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, we got Brandon here, who's been on this crazy trip with us called the 2023 NFL Draft Journey. So, as always, Brandon, it's awesome to see you, man. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Doing good.
Man, that's
This
good.
this 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 pick is a little hard, but I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, no, I mean it's interesting. I will say that. I mean, it is interesting, how it's all gonna unravel here soon. And can you believe it? We are literally 17 days away from the NFL draft. 17. That's it, man. Just 17 more stinking days. And here we are, man. We are literally on our second to last week of finishing and wrapping this whole journey up. So we are now into the point of we are talking about the teams that have made the playoffs. However, they did it, but they did it. Yes, yesterday we talked about Tampa Bay. So if you want to look at that, go back to yesterday's episode. Today we are all about the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks finishing number 2 in the NFC West. Very surprising. All right, it was a surprise. I think it caught everybody off guard that Seattle was number 2. Was number 2. And I got to tell you, I am so proud of them. I think they did great, even with all the everything that happened, all the jokes and everything. I am. Amazing 9-8 record that they were new in the NFC West, falling behind the San Francisco 49ers. And at one point, they were actually leading the division at one point, which is very, very. Then they went to Germany, and then it just went all downhill from there. They went to Germany, and it just went down. But they still managed to make it to the playoffs because, let's face it, the rest of the NFC, it was bad. It was bad. So they snuck in, and they finished second in the NFC West after 9-8. Believe it or not, the ninth best offense in the NFL. The only problem was defense, number 25. Now, we already made Seattle's first selection, literally about 15 episodes ago. So if you want that episode, you're going to have to go back way back in the beginning when we started all this. I took Will Levis, the quarterback out of Kentucky, because, well, even though Geno Smith re-signed with the team for 3 years, it was only a 1-year deal, and you're not going to let an opportunity like that slip away. And you're not guaranteed that the Broncos are going to pick high next year. So you might as well take the guy now. You might as well take the guy now unless you truly believe that the Broncos are going to suck and you could probably get into the top 5 again. Who knows? The quarterback class next year might be a little bit better this year. So who knows? It's all a gamble at this point. But I took Will Levis. Brandon gave Jalen. Not a bad pick. That's not a bad pickup, if that's what you want to call it. But like I said, he finished 9th in offense, 25 in defense. And I think it's safe to assume the Seattle Seahawks probably. I mean, I don't think there was anybody close. I don't think there was anybody. The production that they got out of everybody, it's impressive to me. It's impressive to me. And we'll go over their draft picks here in a minute. But I love what Seattle did. But let's start with the team in general. Geno Smith with a resurgence of some sorts, leading the team all 17 games, 4,200 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, all career best, by the way. All of it. All of it. All career best. Look, he's been in the league that long. Yes, folks, he's been in the league that long. Like, he got drafted to the Jets, and then he had to play backup role for so many of these teams. So many of these teams. Seattle for the longest, apparently. He was the backup to Russell Wilson for what was it now? 2 years, right? 2 years, something like that.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
And it's great. It's great for him. It's good for him. We just thought of it like, oh man, what were they doing when they traded him? They're really gonna roll with Geno Smith. Okay, well here we go. Here we go. And sure enough, it panned out. It worked out as well as you want it to work out, and that goes to the fact that the rookie running back, who only started 11 games and played in 15. Now, mind you, had they have just started him from the get-go and he didn't have that little injury and everything, we're looking at a guy who possibly could have won Offensive Rookie of the Year. I remember last year when you were talking about it, Brandon, you said he should have gone to the Chargers, and I bet you the Chargers, a lot of teams were probably thinking, man, Kenneth Walker was probably, yeah. Just the whole mantra of running backs aren't worth round pick. Yeah, but when you got a guy like Kenneth Walker did what he did, listen, minus those other games that whether he was hurt and he didn't really get to start until later, and only playing 15 in total, 1,050 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns to go along with 27 receptions, 165 yards. The fact that he still missed time and he was still a candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year tells me everything you need to know about this guy. And, of course, DK Metcalf doing DK Metcalf things, 90 receptions, 108 yards, and 6. Who saw this coming? Who saw this Seattle Seahawks team coming? What? I have no words. So I hope you have something because I have nothing for this team. I have nothing.
Listen, when we did predictions last year for division, I'm pretty sure both of us said they're going to be in the top 5 of picks this year. They were. It just so happened it wasn't their pick.
Yeah, it wasn't theirs. It was the other team.
Isn't that some weird shit? We picked it. We had it right. It just wasn't their pick.
Technically we weren't wrong.
Technically we weren't wrong. Technically we weren't wrong. We just didn't see difference. Just completely just being like, nah, we don't want to play this season. We just didn't see that. All in all, man, to be honest, that's a crazy hiring. Good God. But Cliff Kingsbury just signed to the USC Trojans. I'm sorry, we had to break into some news there.
It's perfectly fine. Listen, it's a football show. It happens. Listen, we don't want to take anything away from Seattle, but Cliff Kingsbury to go. Just a quick reaction to that. I think it's going to help Caleb Williams go back to back in Heisman. That's all I'm saying.
I think USC is going to win a damn trophy this year. That's what I think.
I want to go that far. That defense.
He shot that one down. Yeah, I ain't going that far. But
that defense has more hole. That defense has more holes than a Chuck E. Cheese pizza, man. I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Okay. But a Chuck E. Cheese pizza too, really?
Everybody's getting it. Even Chuck E. Cheese, even that mouse, Chucky, he's getting it too. Yeah, everybody's getting the flack.
Man. But Seattle, all in all, man, Seattle last year, they drafted a running back that I said the Chargers should have drafted. Maybe the Chargers probably be in the playoffs. They probably would have did more damage. Probably not squander a 28-point lead. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't happen. I don't freaking know. But all in all, nobody saw Seattle. Nobody. Here's the thing. I kind of realized it by week 1 when they played Russ. And I get it. It's a revenge game. Russ could easily Denver just sucked. We didn't know how bad Denver sucked. But I kind of realized, like, oh, wow, Seattle does actually have something. they have something, and I think that was the thing. And by the way, Kenneth Walker got his first rushing touchdown of his career against us when when Chris Carson went down. He gets the first carry he turns like an 89-yard fucking play into a touchdown. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I saw that and I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I'll put it to you like this. Seattle got a steal in Kenneth Walker. They got a steal. And kudos to Seattle for doing the right thing. They needed a running back. He was the best running back. And you know what? He was available. Why not? And it certainly showed out. But I think it was more that draft class. But continue.
Yeah, that draft class was the draft class last year. We couldn't have expected it. Like we couldn't have expected how quick that team would have evolved with just a bunch of rookies. They figured it out. They got 2 good cornerbacks. They got 2 good offensive tackles. They clearly have now a number 1 running back. I don't know if they have another draft class like they did last year, which might be goddamn near impossible. But if they do, they hit on like at least 3 or 4 picks or something like that they have. I mean, listen, man, they are going to challenge San Francisco. Like, that is not even a question. They might even beat San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, no. Defensively, I mean, I can understand why people would look at that, and I understand defensively they were just not good last year. They were just not good. Great individual pieces, just not a great unit overall. What I mean by that is, listen, Jordan Brooks, great. 161 tackles, 3 tackles for losses. But you brought him in to be your next, guy, and it's just not working out that way. Yeah, he's a tackling machine, but it's like, we all know what you brought him in for to be. It just hasn't panned out that way yet. Good football player, don't get me wrong, just not that guy. Now, Uchenna Nwosu and Darrell Taylor, 2 linebackers that are getting second chances at an NFL career. Nwosu, who I thought was very underutilized when he was with the Chargers. And Darrell Taylor, who just could never find a home, and he finally got it. Both end up with 9.5 sacks. So there's your 2 outside linebackers. So it's like, and then, now you bring in Bobby Wagner. So again, that linebacker unit now as a group now, great. You got something. I mean, you got something. And then obviously Tariq Woolen, the amazing rookie sensation. A lot of people want to catch him some slack. It's like, well, he didn't have a better coverage percentage than Sauce Gardner. No, he did not. However, when the man can get 6 interceptions in his rookie year.
First of all, who the fuck has a great season like Sauce Gardner? Sauce Gardner is different.
Like, Sauce Gardner was like on Will Revis, Champ Bailey, and Nnamdi Asomugha level. That's hard. That's elite.
Sauce Gardner is different. Like, I don't know why people are bringing it up.
Like, people wanted to catch him the flack. Like, well, you didn't have a good year. Like, listen, Champ Bailey, I think, went like 2 years without giving up a touchdown. And Sauce Gardner is like on that path right freaking now. So let's chill for like 2. Like, what Sauce Gardner did was like Champ Bailey, early Dion, Nnamdi Asomugha, Richard Sherman level type of shit. All right, like, that's different.
People gotta stop that.
Now, Tariq Woolen, I get it. Did he give up a lot of big plays? Sure. Okay, it's expected to be of a rookie, but he made up for it with those game-changing interceptions with 6. Let's be real. We're talking about a Seattle team that went 9-8. Nothing too impressive. I bet you some of those interceptions that he did were game changers to give Geno Smith and the offense back the ball to score one more time to put the game away completely. So I get it. Is he probably ever going to match up to Sauce Gardner? I don't know. They're still young. But I mean, is he a really good corner and can he play in the NFL? Yes, 100%. Oh, yeah. Yes, 100%. Yes, he can. So look, the unit defensively, there was, like I said, Al Woods and, just a lot of good edges, Quentin Jefferson. They were good players, but it just never fit as a unit. It just never meshed. Okay? It never
Mm-hmm.
meshed. And we'll get to their free agency in a little bit, but I did want to go back to something that we talked about. That draft class that Seattle had. You know, pick number 9, they took Charles Cross. Who, I mean, I don't know if you remember me last year, Brandon. I was like, listen, man, he's one of my favorites. I mean, obviously, I have the dude from North Carolina State, Irubabe, as my number 1. But I was like, listen, if there's anybody that's going to be close to him, it's Charles Cross at left tackle. I mean, I love the dude. And when he went to Seattle, I'm like, you know what? Kudos on Seattle. I get it. Some Seattle fans were not happy. It's never a sexy pick when you take a big guy like that. It's like, oh my God, that's not a sexy pick. But, like Shaggy said, you can't be a full son. You got to think about the long run. And, Charles Cross is going to be part of that future for a very long time. And he showed why he was worth the first round pick. So, yeah, that's right. I threw in a little Shaggy in there today. I am on a good one today, man. I am on a good one. Chuck E. Cheese is catching strays. Now, the second round pick, I was actually excited when they made this pick. Boya Mafe, the linebacker out of Minnesota, I was actually really excited. Um, you know, Pick number 40, because I was like, hey, look, man, I think this dude's it. We raved about him last year. Only 3 sacks last year, but that was because he had to play a situational role. And let me tell you, he's worth the second pick, even though the numbers don't add up. It doesn't look good, but he's a really great situational pass rusher, and that's what Seattle needed. That's what Seattle needed. When they get into certain formations and everything, he's going to have a bigger role next year, and he's going to show out his second year. Now, obviously, we already talked about pick number 41, Kenneth Walker. Had he not gotten hurt, had he played earlier, we're literally talking about him winning Offensive Rookie of the Year and not Garrett Wilson. Okay? Third round pick, Abraham Lucas. I raved about him in our Super Mock Draft show when I did the show last year with my brother with the Raiders for our final Raider mock draft. I had him in the third round too, because I just could not stop raving about this kid. I mean, when you looked at him at Washington State, when you looked at him at the Senior Bowl, when he performed at the Combine, he looks like a right tackle. He performs like a right tackle. He plays like a right tackle, and he dominated at the right tackle position. So if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Abraham Lucas looks like a right tackle, walks like a right tackle, and plays like a right tackle. Don't be stupid. Just take him, and there you go. Now Seattle has two bookend tackles, which is something that they haven't had in a really long time. Again, another A+ pick. By the way, Tariq Woolen wasn't even their only cornerback that they took. The first corner they took was Kobe Bryant. All right,
Yep.
the opposite of Cincinnati. And listen, no interceptions, but he can rush the passer too. He ended up with 2 sacks and put a lot of pressure, man. And that's why it was so easy for Tariq to get those interceptions, because of the speed out there, and it worked. Now, obviously, Tariq Woolen led the team interceptions. Kudos to him. I really like this kid too, Tyreek Smith, the outside linebacker at Ohio State. It's just with the situation that it was at hand at that time, it was just very hard for him to find a spot. So he was inactive for all season. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I mean, hopefully, second year he shows out, or else Seattle's going to have a. Listen, Tyreek Smith, I will have no doubt in my mind that he will find an NFL home. I just think he wasn't expected for Seattle to have 2 good pass rushers in one freaking team. And then obviously Bo Melton and Derek Young. Bo Melton, again, kick returner ace. We saw it in the preseason. And Derek Young, special teams gunner. So overall, when all of these players in your mock draft make your team and they play at a high level, chances are your team is in good hands. And that's why I'm telling you right now, it'd be very hard for me to be convinced that Seattle did not have the best draft class from last year. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
A lot of people will sit here and say Seattle had the best draft class. The Jets probably had the best day one. Then the Jets had the best day one out of everybody.
That I agree. Day one,
Jets,
because of everybody they drafted defensively and it
mm-hmm.
all panned out. Day one,
Yep.
sure. But I'm talking about the whole thing.
But the whole
Seattle.
thing, yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Jets had like 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And then
and obviously you took Sauce Gardner, number 4,
yep.
defensive rookie of the year. You took Garrett Wilson, offensive rookie of the year. You took Jermaine Johnson at the end of the night one, and he actually was productive for you enough to where you ended up having the 4th best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
If that's not improved, if that's not a Robert Saleh, listen, all those 3 guys,
mm-hmm.
I can honestly say those are Robert Saleh type of players. And they're going to fit his system very well. And it's no surprise to me that they were all successful.
I feel like a lot of people, like I said, the Jets had the best night one. You could even debate that with maybe Detroit because of who they got also at night one with Aiden Hutchinson and also Jameson Williams. And James Williams. I mean, but Seattle had the best draft class the entire goddamn draft. I mean, let's be real.
I'm willing to pose a bet that even Baltimore might have had the best night one with Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbaum. That's not bad. That's not a bad haul.
And it just feels like, and hell, you want to get really you want to go even depending on how you look at it. If you talk about just draft night one, Philly. So it's just
Philly, of course.
But to me, I feel like Seattle drafting the starting running back who clearly could be the future running back for the next couple of years, depending on how Seattle does this. You also get 2 cornerbacks. Maybe one's more of a, the hybrid where it's kind of like a corner safety linebacker kind of, and Kobe Bryant, which you could figure that out.
The nickelback. Yeah, the nickelback.
Yeah, as the season progresses, you can try to figure that out. But you also draft 2 offensive tackles, which is very, very huge because, like you just said, when the hell has Russell Wilson ever had 2 offensive tackles that were, able to just move, like just able to move around? It just doesn't friggin' happen. I think that, man, as good as Seattle's draft class is, it all played out perfectly for them on the football field. They actually had led the NFC West when they were 6-2. They had the best record in the NFC West. Yeah, they lost it eventually, but 6-2 to start the season, that shit is hard. Like I don't think people really understand how. And then on top of that, they started off like 2-2, and then they kind of won like 4 straight games after they lost to us. So it's just like there's no way that anybody could have predicted Seattle would have been that good that fast with those picks. So yeah, the production of all of those picks all hitting at once, yeah, that's kind of damn near impossible. So congratulations, Seattle.
No, I got nothing. I mean, that was
we were wrong. Maybe we were wrong about Pete Carroll. Maybe Pete Carroll was
maybe I think we were. We're gonna see how year 2 goes. We're gonna see how year 2 without Russell Wilson goes. Now, free agency wise, not a bad haul either. Obviously, the big one is you got Drew Lock back, you got Geno Smith back, so your quarterback room is back to what it was.
That's the big ones. Do you think those 2 are the big ones?
No, I mean I got more, but I mean obviously your quarterback room has stability now. Stability. All right, Evan Brown, the center, not bad. Now this one, Phil Haynes, the guard, very underrated guard, who took over for Gabe Jackson when he got hurt, and he never let that spot go. So to get him back, now you got left tackle, left guard, right tackle. Center, who knows? Maybe Evan Brown could be the answer. Maybe the last year guy could be the answer. Or maybe they draft again. I don't know. But to put it like this, the Seattle Seahawks have a very good offensive line. Like, they have a very good offensive line.
Russell Wilson has got to be beside
himself. He's got to be pissed.
And then he is like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Where's this?
No. And then on top of that, you know that Russell Wilson, I just saw this today, and I forgot to tag you in it. Russell Wilson, his first year as a Denver Bronco, he was the most sacked quarterback as the first year Broncos quarterback in the Broncos quarterback history. 55. He got sacked 55 times last year.
Well, at least you can say this. least John Elway's not in the front office, so that might help him out a lot. I don't know.
I am
We shall
still
see.
so mad. I am still so mad about that.
Dude, I was gonna get him. I was gonna get him.
Obviously, Jason Myers is back. It's very good for them. Now, defensively, let's be real. Bobby Wagner's back. Draymond Jones from Denver, thank you, is leaving Denver. All right, I hate that dude because you know why? Because he's a really good player. That's why. He's a really good player, and I'm so glad that he found another opportunity in Seattle. Thank God. Thank God, man. And he's going to be now on the defensive line with Seattle. Julian Love, a very underrated safety, by the way. Nobody really talks about Julian Love as being one of the, and I know it's very like cliche. It's like I don't think he's one of the best safeties, but I will say this: underrated for sure. I think the dude deserves his flowers because everything you ask him to do, and he's gonna do it. And he's gonna do it.
I think we're gonna be talking about the Giants soon, but I think that was a massive loss for the Giants.
Oh, 100%.
Massive
That
loss.
hurt. Losing James Bradbury was one thing. Losing Julian Love, that hurt. That hurts.
That's going to definitely hurt the defense going forward. I think people don't understand how bad until they see the season, but that was a terrible loss.
And let's be real. Let's be real. Julian Love can play free, strong, doesn't matter. And we already know what Jamal Adams, we already know what's up. We already know what's up there. Quandre Diggs is a Pro Bowler. Now you put him with Julian Love.
And you just said it, right? You just said this perfectly, right? Where we said Kobe Bryant can kind of be a nickel corner, right? Julian Love can rush the passer. Like he gets to the passer, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he does. He does it well. So, and you just said it perfectly. Jamal Adams should be back and he should be healthy and he should be ready to go. So if that is the case, now you have a hybrid linebacker safety.
Yeah. And then obviously Jerron Reed. I don't have to say anything more than Jerron Reed other than he's a really good defensive tackle. Really good. And they also bring in Devin Bush to be a backup.
Oh my God.
I think the name of the game here is, Brandon, I think Seattle wants to match up with San Francisco. And
really?
I don't know about you, but I think they're doing a really good job.
Really?
I think they're doing a really good job, bro. All they're missing is a tight end, and they're ready to go.
They got Noah Fant. That's a pretty good damn tight end.
Yes, it is. So, I think out of all of this, I am very happy that Seattle is doing what they're doing correctly. It seems like for the first time in a long time. Me personally, I'm gonna give this one an A, just a solid A. From free agency to everything going on, I'm gonna give this one a solid A. Is there maybe a situation maybe they should have gone for a veteran center? Yeah, but then I think that would have taken the money away from not getting the names I just named to you on the defensive side. And I think they can always draft a center. I think they can always do that. But I'm going to give these guys a solid A only just due to the fact that they need a slot receiver because DK and Tyler Lockett can't do everything. So they need a slot. And they need a tight end. But everything else is fine offensively. Now, defensively is like I said, what they were missing was they have the names. They had the names last year. They just needed the unit. Well, you bring in a Bobby Wagner, you bring in a Devin Bush, Darrell Taylor and Owasu are back. So you got your four starters right there. Obviously, on the defensive line, they play a 3-4. So now you got Drummond Jones, Al Woods, Jaron Reed. Hey, good luck on that. Good luck running on those guys.
God. Good luck, San Francisco trying to run the ball on that shit.
And then on the secondary side, you have Julian Love, Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, should he be back. You got Tariq Woodland. You have Kobe Bryant. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a lot of things that Seattle needs. Are there needs for Seattle? 100%. There are 100%. There are needs. But if there's one team that's going to be able to match up with the San Francisco 49ers this upcoming year, I got to go with the Seattle Seahawks. They're just, if it all plays out right, I could see a situation where the last week of the year, they switch it to the San Francisco-Seattle game again, and that would probably determine the winner on who gets to win the NFC West should it all play out the way it does. So I love it. I give it a solid A. I can't wait to see what they do in this draft. Brandon, go ahead.
Um, I'm the same. A. I think we're starting to get to, like, yesterday was a fluke. Tampa Bay should have never been in the playoffs. Let's be real. Tampa Bay should have never been in the playoffs. But this is where we start to get to the conversation of what these playoff teams are. And this is one of the first teams where we're kind of like, I don't know what they really need. Like, I don't know what they really need. Yeah, they
have needs. Let's be real. They have needs.
They got needs, but it's not magnified. Like Tampa,
it's not going to put it this way. It's not going to make or break their season. Let's put it like that.
And it's like they got so many things that could fix, but is it like immediate fix, or is it just something is it luxury, or do you really actually need it? That's kind of where I'm at with the Seattle Seahawks. Do you need it, or is it just a luxury pick? And I feel like that's kind of what Seattle is right now. They're in that class of, do you really need it, or is it just a luxury pick? And I feel like that's Seattle right now. And I give it an A. I think that with those moves that they made, I might have probably would have bought in a veteran running back just in case for Kenneth Walker, because he got injured last year. Just in case, bought in a veteran running back. Maybe you go get Chase Edmonds, and you probably would have bought him in, but instead you let him go to Tampa, and it is what it is. But I think that Seattle's just different, man. And like you just said,
I would love to see Ronald Jones. I would love to see Ronald Jones in this offense. I think that'll magnify it.
Well, I would love to see him there too, but he's in Dallas, so they should have probably signed him too.
Yeah, he ain't gonna make it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he makes. I don't think he makes the squad.
Yeah, I mean, they should have went and got a lot. Kendrick Drake. They could have got a lot of people, man. They could have really.
I think it's just one of the things where I think Seattle's doing it smart. Get what you can right now, and then we'll fill out the rest later.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're going to go by. And you know what? I hope that this draft class just performs just as well, because if this draft class that they do this upcoming year performs just as well as the last year's draft class, no doubt about it, folks. San Francisco has a new opponent, and it is the Seattle Seahawks.
We're going back to the early 2010s, Seattle and San Francisco for the NFC West, pretty much. That's kind of how we're looking at it. We're going back to the early 2010s.
I'm the best corner in the game. We trying to fucking guy like that. That's what you're gonna get.
My daddy trying to play that weak corner, that weak wide receiver on me.
LOB. Oh, back to you, Paul. Drew, back to you.
It's like, and that's kind of what it feels like right now. I think Seattle does feel like the Rams are in a rebuild, even though people don't want to admit it. The Rams are in a freaking rebuild. Arizona is so goddamn up and down. You don't know really what the hell they are. Now you hear
Arizona could either be the best thing since sliced bread, or they could be the worst thing since canned sardines, bro. Like that's how bad it is.
They could be Thanksgiving turkey, or they could be Spam. It just depends on the fucking game. It just depends on the fucking game. It really fucking does. It just depends. But they really do feel like they have a chance to go against San Francisco, and I think with Geno Smith, you gotta see what he does in his second season. So I'm not gonna be screaming, yeah, Geno Smith's the guy. No, but at least you would know by the end of this season. Okay, we got the team, we just ain't got the quarterback. Let's figure that out, and that's something that you can easily figure out as the season progresses. But until then, Seattle's ready. I think Seattle's ready for whatever the season is.
If Geno can just play like he did last year on this team, then guess what? I think they're gonna win a lot more than 9 games.
I think they're gonna have to, scale it back a little bit for him, because I think when he started to have to do more, he kind of started reverting back to Geno Smith.
That's what I'm saying. He just has to do his part. He doesn't have to do the whole thing. He just has to do his part. Like that first half, Geno Smith, that was great.
He just got to be Jimmy Garoppolo. He just got to be Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't do too much. Don't get out of character. Play the game. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm. Very simple. But all right, Brandon, it's that time, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a hard time picking a player to give Seattle, because I'm like, dude, you guys. It was very hard, but I had to go with my roots, man. So, go ahead, Brandon. Who do you think Seattle's going to pick at number 20 tomorrow or on the NFL draft?
Okay, got it. All right, here we go. All right. With the number 20th pick in the 2023 NFL draft, the Seattle Seahawks will select Zay Flowers, wide receiver, Boston College.
Nice.
You said it perfectly. What do they need? Slot. I look at it as Todd Lockett's getting old. let's just get real with it. Todd Lockett's getting old. Yes, still fast. Still can go past a receiver or two. But so did Ted Ginn, and Golden Tate. Like, it's coming to a time where he's getting too old, and people are going to realize that. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but he's going to get old. That's kind of the thing about this. And I feel like as good as Seattle is, man, and as great as we're sitting here and talking about them, they need a number 2. It's only so much Todd Lockett could do. There's only so much DK Metcalf can do, right? And that is exactly what I feel like with Seattle. There's only so much they can physically do. Zay Flowers is clearly rising up on people's draft boards for a reason. And I think he needs
for great reasons.
He needs to go to a team that he doesn't have to be the number 1 guy. That's just how I feel. I think if he goes to any other team where he's kind of like, you got to be the number 1 guy, you got to be the number 1 option, he's going to fail. I think if he goes to a Seattle where DK Metcalf is clearly the number 1, or Tyler Lockett is clearly number 2, but you kind of take it from him, you will fit Seattle perfectly. And that is why I feel like Seattle's going Zay Flowers with number 20. Yeah, you go to Baltimore. Yeah, you go to all these other places. But me personally, I think he fits in Seattle because with that offense, he doesn't have to do a lot, just his part. And that is something Geno Smith will love to have.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice. They need a slot, and that would be a nice way to go about it. But I want another route about it. Like I said, I'm not going to just give up the fact that they were still 25th on defense because they did need help.
Well, I already fixed that. So you pick Will Levis. I'll pick Tyler Woodson from Texas Tech. So I fixed that already. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, that'll be one hell of a fucking pick. I'll tell you that. But for me, it's like this. Look, as much as I love Kobe Bryant, as much as I love Tariq Woodley and everything, they need another guy. They need another guy. They need another presence there. And the problem is with Kobe Bryant, you got your speedster. With Tariq Woodland, you got your aggressiveness. What you need now is a true cover corner. You need a true cover guy. You need a guy that, hey, man, whether they take off the number 1 or they put him on the number 2, it's like, hey, they're not getting him the ball. And I can't think of any other corner better than Joey Porter Jr. That's why with the 20th pick, I have the Seattle Seahawks selecting Joey Porter Jr., the cornerback out of Penn State. Listen, everybody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to talk about the whole ordeal of, the interceptions is lacking. Yeah, because they never tried his way. Have you seen him play? The dude is in your face immediately. When the ball snaps at Penn State, the dude's in your face. He's literally punching you. He's literally punching you.
His length is crazy. That shit is crazy.
And I'm not surprised by his aggressiveness. If you know who his father is, I'm not surprised about his aggressiveness. He's not afraid to tackle. Nobody wanted to test him because it's like, dude, I never got that. I never got why a kid should be punished for lack of interception in college. It's like, do you think maybe it's due to the fact that, I don't know, maybe if you try his way, maybe you'll get your receiver killed, or worse, the ball will get turned over?
That's the worst?
Like,
wait a minute, that's the worst? Like the pick.
I mean,
you might get your receiver killed, or you might do worse, like throw the ball and get it in a septic.
Receivers you can always find. You can always replace the receiver, but you can never get that. You can never get that possession back. That's the thing.
Oh my God!
You can never get that possession back. That's right. That's my mentality. You can never get that possession back, man.
I'd rather see a dead body than the ball get picked off.
That just shows you where my mind's at. That just shows you my mentality, man. You can always get me another wide receiver. What am I gonna do? I can't do anything with this possession anymore. We're done.
Call his mom. He's all right. Call his mom.
But for me, I think if you add a Joey Porter Jr. to this defense, I think it'll solidify everything. You'll have your unit because the defensive line unit between Al Woods, Draymond Jones, and Gerard Reed, that's set. The linebacker unit of Darrell Taylor, Nwazu, Jordan Brooks, and Bobby Wagner, that's complete. Now you got Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, Julian Love, good secondary combinations. Now you add a Kobe Bryant, Tariq Woodley, and a Joey Porter Jr. to that cornerback room. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, that's the perfect down. Now they have to put it together, and that would be one great unit for Seattle to have at that point. That would be one great unit for Seattle to have.
Good God, I'd be afraid of that defense.
Well, luckily they're in the NFC, so I have no freaking worries about that.
Be afraid of that defense. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Listen, as much as we talk about San Francisco don't even know who the fuck their quarterback is. So we got to stop talking about San Francisco like they're just they got a great roster, but they don't know who their quarterback is. That's a problem for me. I'm sorry. That's a massive goddamn problem for me. When you got two quarterbacks, you got no quarterback, and that's kind of the problem here.
And I'm going to be honest with you. If that offense sustains to the level of expectability what they did last year, and the defense can just improve just a tad bit, I'm telling you right now, San Francisco better be worried because they're no lock to win the NFC West. They are no lock to win the NFC West.
Not.
And at that point, if you're San Francisco, you really got to be thinking, damn, all we had to do was find one quarterback, and you couldn't. You couldn't do that. So, I don't know. For me, I think like I said, Zay Flowers would be nice too, but I'm not so worried about the offense more than I am the defense. Because Geno Smith is blessed. He's got a runner. And they're going to and that runner's going to take him places. All Geno Smith has to do is look so beautiful between the 3 seconds when he hikes the ball and hands it off to Kenneth Walker. That's all he has to do. All right? He was blessed. They got a runner, and they're going to take him places. All he has to do is look beautiful while handing the ball off. That's it. Now, that defense, if it can just prove its play just a tad bit, I'm not asking them to go from 25 to number 7. I'm just asking them to go from like 25 to like 17, 16 at the most, halfway through. And I tell you what, if that happens, I'm telling you, the Seattle Seahawks might be a real problem for the NFL night. Not just the NFC, the NFL. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see it.
You literally just gave Joey Porter Jr. to Seattle. That is, oh my God, that is.
That is a luxury pick, my friend. That is a luxury pick.
That is a god shit. Fuck luxury. That is a goddamn. If they can put it together, that's Super Bowl. What the? Because we're talking about San Francisco, they could go into Philly. Like they can stop Philly. Like a lot of people don't understand that type of defense can stop Philly.
And I think that's the problem. I think a bunch of these teams are now going into where you need 3 wide receivers now. That means you need 3 quarterbacks. And I mean, listen, and I have no doubt in my mind Tariq Woodley's going to try to teach them something, but Joey Porter Jr. is ready to play in the NFL today. He just has to learn. And once they get it all together, once they all figure it out, I'm telling you, if that defense comes alive next year, nah, man. Like I said, I can always find another receiver, but I'm never going to get that possession back, bro. I'm never going to get it back. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
him in a body cast. He's like, but you let him pick the ball off. I don't give a fuck. You're in a body cast. Like, I don't care. Like,
I want you to stay there and think about what you've done.
You can't move. He just stuck.
I want you to stay there and think about what you've done. Like this man literally said, he said the worst thing that could happen. He said, somebody could die. The second worst thing is the turnover. That's worse. Like, that's worse. Jesus, where's your mind at? It's a 60-minute war, man. It's a 60-minute war. Injuries happen. Bodies fall down. It happens. We keep going. We
He
keep
literally
going.
said I can replace him with another receiver.
I can always find another wide receiver. What am I going to do about this possession? I got nothing for it. I literally went Rick James on him. I can always buy you another couch. What am I going to do with my legs? What am I going to do with my legs? yeah. Darkness, motherfuckers. You evil motherfuckers.
Oh, man. Yeah.
What it is, man. But other than that, folks, that is our picks for today. So Brandon went the wide receiver route. Zay Flowers, which apparently they just grow on trees. Like, just pick them up anywhere, according to me. Or you can get a corner. I went with Joey Porter Jr. at number 20, which would be really interesting if it worked out that way. I doubt it. But if he's there at 20, you think Seattle would not look at that and be like, let's do it. Like, let's do it.
Oh, you know the crazy thing is they would do it.
Yeah, they would too.
I would not be surprised.
Like, let's kill him. Let's kill him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Tomorrow, we have the ever fun, so loving Los Angeles Chargers. Finally made the playoffs under Justin Herbert. They finally did it. They did it.
What happened?
Just
what
not.
happened?
I don't. It's the what happened in that playoff game that is probably the significance of tomorrow's episode. So we're gonna talk about the Chargers season.
We're like, they made the playoffs finally. Just the way it ended. Fuck. They should have just stayed at home.
The way it ended was, and you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. And you know, is there trouble brewing in Los Angeles for certain players? I believe so. And it's not just Austin Eckler. I think it's a lot of other players too. It's not just him. I think it's a lot of other players. I think what is happening is, you know, and Brandon Staley made the ultimate move. This offense either works with homeboy Kellen Moore, or all of you are done. All of you are done, and the Chargers are going to go into a new regime. So it's going to be interesting to see. But that'll be tomorrow. So Brandon, thank you so much for joining. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, like I said, it would have been Miami for the first round pick. We're skipping Miami this year. Sorry, Dolphin fans. Don't be mad at me.
You want to talk about Miami?
Be mad at your own.
You want to talk about Miami? Miami this is how fast we're going to talk about Miami. Tua got concussions. Prayers up. But let's be real. If he doesn't play, Miami's screwed. Let's just be real. There it is, Miami. You had your whole that's the whole preview of your team. There it is. You got Jalen Ramsey, who let's be real. Stephon Diggs, like that trade was like, yes. Stephon Diggs saw that trade go through. It was like, yeah, let's do that. I like that deal.
Stephon Diggs, Garrett Wilson,
Stephon Diggs,
and whoever the wide receiver for New England. They don't even have a wide receiver, but even that wide receiver, when they walk in, they'll be like, yeah.
Stephon Diggs is just like, yeah. Like, yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I'll be back. In the Pro Bowl.
Oh my God. How many touchdowns Stephon Diggs will get this season on Jalen Ramsey?
I think you'll have a total of 12, and like four of those will be on Jalen Ramsey. Like, goddamn, a quarter of his touchdowns will be against Jalen Ramsey. Like, goddamn,
I feel bad for Jalen Ramsey, man. He just went to the worst type of position. It's just you try to leave the Rams and then end up in Miami, and then you find out, oh shit, Stephon Diggs. Like, I wonder how many times you'll be like, Xavier Howard, get on Stephon Diggs. I got Garrett Davis. I got Davis. Go over there. Like,
I don't want this. You think when Jalen Ramsey found out last year that Devontae Adams was getting traded to the Raiders, she's probably like, oh, thank God. And then they meet on the Thursday night, and he made him look like dumb 3 catches in a row. Like, I'm just like, dude, this is bad. I hate poor Ramsey.
Yeah. I don't know what was worse, that game or the Thursday night opener. That was just those two games. Those games, man, made me just realize like
Understand, Stephon Diggs could have had 3 touchdowns on Jalen Ramsey that night, but he dropped one.
he dropped one. Like he was in the end zone. Like he was in the end zone. It just
Jalen Ramsey that would have been a sense I would have had to probably say no way. Jalen Ramsey giving up 3 touchdown passes. Like, nah, I would have thought you were smoking something, but no, that almost happened. It is what it is. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he goes into this situation and maybe it's better for him. We'll see. But that'll be tomorrow. We're going to talk about the Chargers and we're going to see where they go. Like I said, I like the Chargers team. It's just, man, that coach. I tell you
I like the Chargers. I like the Chargers too. They're just the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC. We got to stop putting them up there with all these other teams. I'm just thinking they're.
You can't even say that. They haven't even won a Super Bowl.
Oh shit, you're right. Oh shit, you're right. They're not even the Chargers. God, who are they? Who are they then?
Think of them like the Minnesota Vikings. Like they're really good, but they never amount to anything. They never amount to anything.
Ooh, damn, Minnesota Vikings. Shit. Yeah, I guess we can say Minnesota. They've always had a good defense here and there. They had a good running back, good quarterback, just never could put it all together.
See what I mean? Minnesota, folks.
I agree.
But that'll be tomorrow. Brandon, thank you so much for joining. Everybody else, we will see you tomorrow. Peace.